Hey everybody, it's been forever since I've posted a video. I apologize for that. I do want to share a project I did last year that is still going strong. So let me just show you around a little bit. This is our sledding hill at the winter cabin. Our family skis and sleds and snowboards and has a pretty good time up here. So kind of two sides. There's a steep side, there's a long curving side. Usually we tow the kids around on four-wheelers or snowmobiles. That can get tiresome after a while, driving everybody around. So last year, made this project. It's a tow rope to tow people back up the hill. And I'll show you how I put that together and how we use it. So down here at the bottom, this is a old snowmobile sled that we used to drag behind snowmobiles to get suitcases and stuff up. Now it is the bottom of my rope tow, mostly just to have a pulley down here at the bottom that allows the rope to spin around and go back up. I do weigh it down with some sandbags just to keep a little bit of tension on the rope. This rope is 600 feet long, so 300 feet up, 300 feet back in one big continuous loop. It's spliced together in the middle, so there's a couple knots in the rope that make it a little bit easier to grab onto sometimes. We'll see if I can hold the camera and grab the rope at the same time. There we go. These little pulleys on the side, they're just to keep the rope out of the snow. They're not critical. Here's just a metal ring hanging off a telephone pole. And some more hanging off the neighbor's fence. That's along pretty quick. And we can usually get 3 or 4 kids or 2 adults without any issue. If we do more than that, it tends to trip the circuit breaker. So we want to avoid that. Up here at the top is what makes this thing work. You see it in motion here. I'm going to shut it off just so you can hear me talk a little bit better. It's a little bit noisy, not too bad. Certainly less noisy than if it was a gas engine running it. So this is the transmission out of an old riding lawnmower. This is the second one I've used. The first one I used broke, and I'll tell you why. This was one that I got off eBay, so they are out there to be had. The motor is a Grizzly motor. It can run at 220 volts or 110, either way. Right now I'm running it at 110, and the power comes from the RV outlet that I put into the cabin last year. Basically, it's a long extension cord underneath that snow. At some point, I'll get that properly buried. But when it's in the snow, not too bad. There are some spotlights on this. I don't have them in right now, but I do put them in when we want to use it at night. I do have some little solar lights that charge during the day, and when it gets dark out here, they do turn on. Kind of illuminates the trail. Kind of makes it fun for night sledding. We also all have hats with lights in them, so we can see where we're going. The thing about these transmissions from lawnmowers is there is a differential. So when this wheel spins, the other side wants to spin. And when this side spins, it counteracts it. So my first attempt on this last year, what I did is I tried to weld this axle here, but it didn't work real great. This is aluminum and this is steel. That's not a great welding point. So I ended up drilling a hole here and shoving a big steel piece in there. Problem is it eventually pulled hard enough that it broke this entire aluminum piece. So what I did instead is I left the other wheel on for the lawnmower transmission, and I put these pretty heavy duty springs in there that have these safety cables in place in case the spring itself snaps or something. This absorbs some of the shock when somebody grabs the rope and it wants to pull the other direction. These springs kind of help absorb that. You'll see when I first turn this on, it might tug the springs a little bit. Just a little bit. Wrapping that rope around this tire is all the grip it needs. It doesn't slip on the wheel at all. There is a kind of an idler wheel down here on the bottom. Let's turn that off again. Bit of an idler wheel down here on the bottom. It's just a Harbor Freight tire that I removed the tire from and just kept the rim. And it's on an axle here. So that keeps the rope up here tight against the tire. And it makes a loop around the back. Comes up here where there's another one. The other half of it fell off, but it really was only needed to keep it from going in this way. It doesn't really try to come out the other way. I do have a safety gate down here. It's just a outdoor light switch hooked to this rope, which is hooked to the tree. And when that rope gets tugged, it just turns off the switch to the whole motor. Can be put back on. These posts I planted in here in the summer. You know, they're probably 8-foot posts that I buried 3 feet or so down under the ground and put cement around them. So they're not going anywhere. I keep it covered up in the summer and winter and just take the cover off when I'm using it. We'll take a ride down the hill and Bear the dog, I'm sure, will follow or get right in the way. Yeah, Bear. And here's grabbing the rope and going for a ride. Just running up here beside me. Loves his tires. I do put the rope tow away when I'm going to be gone for a while. This bin is just where I coil up all the rope. It's all just kind of self-contained there. Take the rope and this bottom sled, the little pulleys and lights and things. It takes about 10 minutes to put away or set up. So it works really well. You know, sleds, snowboards, skis, whatever. One thing you might have noticed is the trails that I'm sledding down are pretty well groomed. That was another project last year. I'll show you real quick. So this old snowmobile is what I used to pull this contraption. This is a snow groomer sled. It's just made out of 2x6s. And there is a 2x6 that goes down the middle one way. And then a second 2x6 that goes across the other way at an angle. And that makes it so that when the sled gets pulled over the snow gets pushed one way across and then it gets pushed the other way across. Helps fill in any gaps and holes. And then underneath this pile of snow in these seats, there's this old truck bed liner that I got from a truck accessory place that was just going to get rid of it. Kind of a broken truck bed liner. And so this is screwed to the bottom of it. Helps give it that kind of grooved pattern. Sometimes I will put sandbags or other weight in the back of this or even in the front of it to help weigh it down and pack that snow down. You know, we found that pulling this sled around was kind of fun, and I screwed these 2 chairs back here so we could give people rides on it. That actually helps pack the snow down too because of their body weight. And then these bins here I added today, and this is just so I can carry stuff up and down the hill when I'm using the snowmobile to carry groceries up or people's suitcases or bags or whatever. So anyway, that's the snow groomer sled. And sometimes we'll tow it with a 4-wheeler, sometimes we'll tow it with the snowmobile. But pretty cheap and easy to make. Makes a big difference. By the way, I'm not sponsored or anything, but these Lifetime sleds, they're a little pricey, but they are the best sleds we've ever bought. You know, we'd buy 10 or 15 cheap sleds each year and bring them up, and after a season of sledding, they'd kind of be broken or cracked or whatever. These have not done that. We've had them for the last 2 years. They do have like a 5-year warranty on them. And again, I'm not sponsored by them. That'd be nice. And we'll go back up. It does help to have leather gloves when you're pulling yourself up this rope tow. I'll put a link to the yellow rope I use. It's just Amazon, 600 feet, polyethylene rope. It's easy to splice together, it floats, it does pretty good stuff, and it's easy to see. Alright, we'll shut the motor down for the day. Might come out here later tonight. Thanks for watching today. I'll try to do some more soon. Thanks for watching.